Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Accelerate Your Learning Journey with a Coding Buddy, how to work together to achieve your goals. Our speaker today is Isabella Hoesch. Isabella is a self-taught coder with a background in early stage tech companies. As a Women Who Code volunteer, she founded the BuddyMeUp program to help Women Who Code Python members to find their coding buddy. BuddyMeUp recently grew into Codum, a platform that pairs coders from all over the world for mutual and collaborative goal achievement. So just to share a little bit of history about BuddyMeUp. Isabella initiated this program in 2020, and she buddied up with Rachel. They built the program together with the goal of helping ambitious coders to find a buddy. Isabella designed an algorithm to match buddy pairs and groups. And just to share a little bit about my personal experience with my coding buddy. So I signed up for a coding buddy in round 3 of the BuddyMeUp program with the Women Who Code Python track, and that was last year. I was matched with the most amazing buddy that I could have asked for. We had so much fun together. We just really enjoyed hanging out together. And so during our sessions, we shared the coding projects that we were each individually working on. We talked about how much we loved the Python programming language, which is a lot. And we encouraged one another on our coding journeys. And so with that, I will now pass the session to Isabella.
All right. Hi, everyone. And thank you so much for this nice intro, Stephanie. I always love hearing about your your experience with your buddy. Yeah, and it's nice to be back, of course. So last time, I think that was in March or maybe even February, we spoke about why you need an accountability partner, why you need a coding buddy. And where you can find one. That was basically just after Codum launched its prototype, I think just in the same week even. So I'm super excited to share that now within 2 months, we're at 1,000 signups. So if any of you guys ever feel alone in your coding journey and the struggle of teaching yourself, just please be aware, please be reminded you're not alone. There's thousands of people setting themselves this huge goal of diving into it themselves, working on it themselves, and learning to code by their own. So you're not alone. All right, and maybe just a quick overview for any of you guys who doesn't know what BuddyMeUp is, and what, with that also how it grew into Codum and what Codum does, what it is. So Codum is a platform that matches aspiring coders of all levels based on their coding goals. So you would sign up and leave some information that helps us find an optimal match for you. So you would be matched with a person of a similar experience with the same goals. Let's say you both want to work on Python and you're both just starting out. And then you'll be paired for 10 weeks to hold each other accountable and work together, take on the coding journey with a peer instead of being isolated and struggling alone. All right. So as I said, last session was about why are accountability partners and coding buddies great, and where you can find one, Codum obviously. Today we'll be focusing on how, once you actually have your accountability partner, and I'll be using the words coding buddy and accountability partner, both of them. With that, I just mean the buddy that you pair up with to work together. So today we'll be focusing on, so once you have that buddy, how do you actually take advantage of these 10 weeks together? How can you learn and work more efficiently with more fun compared to working all by yourself? So we'll be looking at 3 things in particular, the 3 things that I find super over important to be aware of and to prepare for before diving into the 10-week accountability partnership. And the first one, obviously, is the mindset, because, well, you are taking on a huge challenge, so prepare your mind for it. Then we'll look into why is preparation important and what does that exactly mean. And then how you can track your progress and reward yourself, and why that is important for you to keep going. All right, so let's start with the mindset, which I already mentioned is super important, and it will really set the tone of your partnership. It will really, you have to make sure you have the right mindset to get started, so that you follow through for 10 weeks. And yeah, so this is really the most important thing before everything else. And what I always encourage and recommend people to do for anything in their life, not just coding, but anything that takes their lifetime, that where you invest nerves in, is remind yourself why you do it. So learning to code is a huge buzz theme at the moment. A lot of people want to do it. And of course, there's a lot of attractive and interesting reasons why you would want to do it. So for some, they're really looking for a secure job. Obviously, there is a huge demand for talent in the industry. And that's one of the factors that could push you to do it. Of course, the benefits and salaries are attractive with most companies, or should be. Then others are more motivated by the fact that it can be quite a flexible job. So working remotely, maybe even as a freelancer, traveling the world, working from an island. I know quite some people that actually choose tech mainly, or for a big part of this reason. But then of course, there's other things, like our society is continuously being shaped by technology, and you might want to keep up to date. You want to know what's going on, and of course it's simply interesting. Then obviously the fun and the challenge of the coding itself, and I believe if you really want to take a tech job, you should have part of this should be your motivator. And obviously there's so many resources, so you can learn if you like learning, and you should also in tech, because you never finish learning. It's a great field to be in. So yeah, remind yourself, why is it that you want to learn to code? How will you feel when you've achieved it? What are you looking forward to? And that excitement that you then feel, and that energy, that positive energy, that is what we need for an effective accountability partnership. And imagine your partner does the same thing, is super excited, and combining this energy will just give you a whole nother kickstart. So on top of that, the good news is that your success really is just up to yourself. So all the resources are available, as I just said. So you have access to everything you want to learn, everything you need to learn. And on top of that, you also have an accountability partner with who you can share the struggle, with who you can fight this shared enemy. Or there's actually 3 main enemies. They're called procrastination, frustration, distraction, and together, like, you can really take this on. But yeah, but to really be effective, you have to make sure that you set your expectations right. So what exactly is it that you can expect of your coding buddy, of your accountability partner? What is important is get an understanding of your buddy's general life situation, his or her capacities and availability, because it could be like, I mean, people have a life. What if this person has 3 kids, a cat, and a full-time job? So understand their life, what they're going through, and then set your expectations right to don't maybe be disappointed. But overall, the idea or the power of accountability partnerships really comes from this principle of reciprocity. So you get what you give. And if you dive in with a positive attitude, really this excited energy, it will come back to you. It will encourage, it will reflect upon your partner, and it will come back to you. So, I mean, obviously there's these basic rules that are always important, and be punctual, don't miss out on your meetings, show commitment, show support, be respectful. And on top of that, everybody comes with their own network, with their own experience, with their own knowledge and perspective of things. So the more you give in, you will get that back from your accountability partner, if it's in another way, if it's from another topic. But that really is, well, the power. And yeah, as I said, set your expectation and your willingness to give in a way that you can really leverage on this accountability partnership. All right. So now that we spoke about the why, like why you want to do something, you should take some time to think about what you want to do and how you want to do it. And ideally, you do this together. I mean, you can, of course, do this before you find a coding buddy, but also do this together with your coding buddy. Oh, hold on. Here we are. So the number one step, and this accounts especially to complete beginners in the field, is to take some time to really get a general overview. So the risk of getting lost throughout your journey is very, very high. And when you just get started and you want to jump right onto things and learn, you will get lost with all these rabbit holes, with all these hyperlinks that you can click, and suddenly all these topics you didn't even know existed pop up, and you don't even know where you want it to be in the end. So to avoid this, take some time before, do some research, talk to people, talk to your buddy, and get some inspiration of what is there and what do you even like. What would you like to be in the future? So once this is done, you can zoom in and together with your buddy, set a goal. And this goal can be a shared goal. So you both, let's say, if you're beginners, your goal could be, at the end of these 10 weeks, we want to have completed the Python for Beginners course on Udemy, for example. Other buddies that, for example, work on projects, they say, okay, at the end of these 10 weeks, we want to have this project that we can put into our portfolio. And here on the right-hand side, you see a screenshot that's actually from the Codum platform, where you can see what some of the Codum buddy teams decide to work on for these 10 weeks of accountability partnership. Right, I think I wanted to mention this slide also for going back to the zooming out. Since there is so many resources, I just wanted to briefly mention these for any of you that are still a lot lost with the abundance of resources. So maybe you want to take a screenshot or have a look at the recording later. These are amazing free resources that can really help you get started. So the Odin project programmers and the CS50, it's a course from Harvard, are very well thought through and structured courses that you can just sign up. Don't look at any other courses at the same time. Follow that. and you'll learn a lot. And of course, Code Wars is a nice tool where you can do little code exercises to train your brain at the same time. So just to give you some things at the hand already, so that you don't get lost with all the millions of amazing resources that exist. And then for people that maybe are a little bit ahead, the dev projects and Topcoder are nice platforms where you can get inspiration, or especially the dev projects, on what kind of project you would like to work on with your buddy. And if you're into competitions, you might want to look into Topcoder. And they also have real world projects where you can win a prize or earn a fee, earn money with working on these projects. All right, just having said that, let's go back to our preparation structure. So you zoom out, do this whole thing that I just said, you zoom in and set a goal and you write it down. So that you have it in written, because it's crazy how quickly we forget about our goals. The next thing you want to do with your buddy is to create a rough roadmap. So you know, in case you are a Codum buddy, you know you have these 10 weeks and you want to use these 10 weeks. So you create a roadmap where you say how and what you work on in each week. And these, so this roadmap should have milestones that are small and achievable, because there's nothing more frustrating to not reaching your milestones, which happens quite quickly because there's so many things you want to do, but really make sure that these milestones are achievable, and you can, tick the check mark in the to-do box. And it's just a psychological thing where you reward yourself. It's very motivating. And again, here some examples of what our buddies do at Codum. So I've heard of one beginners pair. They say, okay, this is this pair with the Python course for beginners. They say we do one chapter each week, and then we also do 3 code katas each day. And this is repeated over each week. And their goal is to, with that, having finished the course by the 10th week and have practiced their coding with the code katas. And then there's others. Here's the example. They do 2 hours of coding each day. And then each week they focus on a different topic. And again, just to mention, like, how people work together is completely up to the individuals. So there's of course also some that take different courses simultaneously or work on individual projects simultaneously. And as Stephanie also mentioned, she and her coding buddy, they at some point worked on different topics or courses, but got together to check in, make sure how is the other one doing, and keep each other motivated and committed. All right, then here the last one is get ready for routine. And I must really, really emphasize this word routine, because this initial excitement, this initial, being hyped and excited about learning to code and doing this, it will not always be there, because as I said, we have these enemies. Frustration, distraction is a very, very big one. And I'm sure everybody is somewhere a master of procrastination as well. And the most effective way to combat them is routine. Even if you have an accountability partner, because what if the same enemies at the same time got to your accountability partner? So you want to make sure to create habits. Habits are very, very, very powerful. So be strict and block time to really integrate your coding activity into your daily life, so that it becomes a non-question. It's something you do automatically at some point, even if usually you'd rather want to do something else. So yeah, routine is important so that you don't just get together with your buddy and work for 2-3 weeks, but that you can power through also week 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And what also helps here is to regularly remind yourself and discuss with your buddy the why that we talked about in the beginning. Why are you doing this? How will you feel once you have achieved your goals? And how will it change your life? All right, so that brings us to progress tracking and rewards. So I just said routine keeps you going, and what also keeps you going is looking at what you have already achieved, and yeah, having a sense or a feeling that you are learning and that you are improving. So there is actually a stat or a saying that when performance is measured, performance improves. And when performance is measured and reported, the rate of the improvement accelerates. So to report, you have your accountability partner, and to measure it, there is a lot of different tools that you can use. And we'll look at those in a second. But yeah, so make sure you meet with your buddy on a regular basis. So what Codum buddies mostly do is meeting weekly, and you document everything you do, every session you have together, and all the learnings and challenges you face, the to-dos that you set for your next week, and also the next session, the next date that you want to meet your buddy. So when it comes to this whole documentation and journaling thing, I'm a little bit obsessed. And my first buddy, Rachel, she initially was actually making a bit fun of me because I was treating, or she said, I'm treating our meetings and our accountability partnership like a project manager. But in the end, I'm quite sure that she actually, like we both benefited from it, me taking the notes and both of us being able to look back, knowing when is our next meeting, finding the link right away. And in 10 weeks time, going back to the beginning to look at what we were working on, what we were struggling with back in time and how we solved it, which is actually very, very, this is also a big reason to document everything you do, because you will come across similar or the same challenges again. And it's just the nicest thing if you have the solution ready in your notes and you can just copy paste it or go through the same process of solving it. So back then, and this example of my own buddy experience with Rachel, me taking notes all the time, there wasn't really a tool I was super happy with. So I started with a Word document, you can see here. At some point we moved to GitHub projects. That's when I even learned about it, that existed, because we felt, okay, we have our code in GitHub, why don't we just also move our notes to GitHub? But for some reason we didn't find it so user-friendly, so we moved to Trello. All of these tools have their pros and cons, but yeah, and there's other buddies, they find Google Docs helpful, or that even use Excel to document their things. Some people are on Notion. And yeah, but not to have things in one place and to not have it too messy. What we offer at Codum, unfortunately, the image, I think it doesn't really show here, but yeah, we offer at Codum to track your progress within the platform, so that you can document the learnings, the challenges, your to-dos, the next session, and have it all in one place, and that you can go back to what you've worked with your buddy. All right. Then the last and not least important thing for an accountability partnership is definitely to, first of all, share your achievements with your buddy, or with the community, and reward this is already rewarding enough in itself, but also reward yourself for what you have accomplished, because it's not easy. It takes a lot of determination, a lot of energy, a lot of willpower. There's so many people that give up early, or that are waiting for, I don't know what, for something to fall from the sky and either teach them or just magically put that knowledge into their head. So it's a hard journey with ups and downs. So make sure that you actually reward yourself for it. And this is also important from a psychological perspective, because when we reward ourselves, our brain wants to do it again. So if somebody says, hey, good job, then you might, like, oh, I can do it and I want to do it again because it feels so nice, this person telling me, hey, good job. So in terms of rewarding, there's also different ways and strategies of how you can do that. So we even have buddies. After what they do is, after their meeting sessions, so they meet on a weekly basis, they put $5 into a piggy bank. So let's say they completed a chapter this week of their course, they meet on Saturdays, and then individually they put $5 in the piggy bank. And each of them, they have they're saving up to something. And of course, I mean, everybody can choose whichever reward they want, but I think that's a nice example. What we recently set up is a Codum merchandise store, where we currently have some sweaters and t-shirts, and we want to add some more small, just gadgets, little bit like nerdy coding merch, so that buddies can also reward or gift their accountability partners, since it's a lot of time that you spend together, a lot of effort and support that you invest into the other person. So I think that's a very nice way of thanking your buddy for that. All right, so with that said, to summarize everything, let's quickly go through the individual points. So first and foremost, remember your why. Remember why you're doing things, and attach emotions to your goals, because then they are more powerful. Then, or before that, get an accountability partner and put yourself into this buddy mindset that will push not just yourself, or not just your buddy, but yourself much faster, much more effective towards your goals. And together, make sure to build this roadmap. Take the time to prepare, to do the research, to really build a roadmap and set small milestones to reach that overall goal. And document and keep track of your progress, and share and reward your achievements. And with that, these are the most important findings from my own experience as a buddy, from my experience of talking to and accompanying buddies throughout their journey, of what really makes an effective accountability partnership. And I hope this was helpful for you. And if you have not found a buddy yet, and now you think this is something you need, I'm happy if you sign up at Codum. It's codum.cc, and join our community and achieve your coding goals. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Isabella. And we do actually have some time to take questions. If anyone has questions on how to work with your coding buddy or about Codum specifically, we do have a moment to answer those questions. Someone did ask Isabella whether Codum was free.
Yep. So Codum is free. That's the very simple answer. So especially at this early stage, no costs involved. We're happy for every user that joins, also that provides feedback, because we're looking to improve and grow with our users. So free for anyone to join. I'm just seeing this other question. Is Codum just for Python? Good question. I didn't mention this before. So Codum is currently for web development and data science. And within that, you can select the programming languages that you personally focus on. So in web development, we currently offer JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Ruby, and Python. And in data science, we have Python and R. And we're looking to expand the languages and also add more topics such as blockchain, cloud, and mobile development. These are the most interesting ones. Once we know we have a big enough audience that we can reach. Okay, so the actual process for signing up from Vanessa. So it's a two-step process, let's say. So first you sign up to the platform, just a normal registration. And then within the platform, you'll navigate to the BuddyMeUp page. It's still called BuddyMeUp, but now it's BuddyMeUp within Codum. And there you'll fill a little form. So you'll tell about your coding goal, the coding languages that you're focusing on, the time availability you have, your time zone. Those are the most important ones. And then you'll submit that. And it will take between 1 and 7 days for you to be matched, because how it works with our matching process is that we are filling up a pool of signups. And of course, the more people that join, the better the matches we can generate. So let's say the last matching happened on Sunday, and then the pool will slowly fill up over the next few days, and depending how quickly, how many new signups happen, that depending on when the next matching is triggered. All right, I just from the Nicolette, you're asking if free code camp is not recommended. Let me just quickly finish reading. Okay, so no, free code camp is definitely recommended. So I know a lot of people that use it. It's a great source. The thing why it was not recommended on my list is because there really is so many good resources that I could put 20, 30 recommendations there. And then again, you don't know where to start. So it has nothing to do with the quality of free code camp. I actually think it's a very good resource. So stick to it and continue your course. So don't get worried about the quality of that now. Okay, Tatiana is asking, how is the partner chosen? So currently you cannot choose yourself. It happens in this way that, as I just explained, all of these people with their information join this overall pool. And then we have a matching algorithm that looks to find an optimal combination in the sense that it should be an overall optimal combination. So this is a bit messy. It's an optimization problem. So every person basically scores every other person based on their responses. And then the algorithm looks to find a combination that maximizes overall value, overall happiness, let's say. Okay, then how long does it take to get paired with a buddy? As I just mentioned, it takes between 1 to 7 days. All right, so Vanessa is asking that the choices for web dev and data science on Codum and which kind of libraries are used with web dev. Okay, so I have to make sure I get the question right. So in general, React is a front-end framework that you can choose to work on, and you can choose to study during these 10 weeks with your buddy. For the matching, we focus on languages and not on frameworks or libraries. So I hope this is what you've been asking. Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, so Nicolette is asking, is there an opportunity to contribute to the Codum project where beginners can contribute to projects so that they can also work on their skills? So we have been thinking, or I have been considering at some point making it, having people contribute. So it's not so easy to have people contribute on the actual source code. But what some buddies do is that we had one pair that worked on replicating the Codum front end, making an interface that looks like Codum and adding their own little style to it. So working on something like that, or that is definitely possible, but not contributing to the source code. However, we have an ambassador program where we encourage people that have great ideas that help Codum grow since we're very young, can just join and come with any ideas, and we'll see what we can make with that. So that's often people that want to mentor, or it's people that want to spread the word within their social media. But if you have a great idea to build a project with some other buddies, then, I mean, get in touch. All right. Okay, so then the question is, are buddies paired according to country? The answer is not to country, but to time zone. So we take into consideration your location, but not to make sure that you're with someone in your same country, but someone within your same time zone, because that definitely eases finding meeting dates and all that. But more importantly is, of course, that you share the same coding goal. And yeah, that's how it currently works. So coding goal, motivation, and then time zone.
Okay, so we do have another minute if anyone else has additional questions. Please be sure to visit the Codum website, and I have also shared the Slack link that is for Codum, and I've also shared different links to become a member with Women Who Code Python, and also to join our upcoming events. As I mentioned, we do have Python escape room tomorrow, so I hope that everyone can join us. But yeah, we can stick around for another moment or so if anyone has additional questions.
And obviously, if you have any questions about Codum later in time, feel free to get in touch through LinkedIn or through our Slack or our contact form on our website. It won't be too late to ask questions.
Absolutely. So I think we will close the formal part of today's session. So big thank you to Isabella for joining us today and sharing about this amazing opportunity to be matched with coding buddies. And I hope you all learned some really great techniques to work with your coding buddy. And yes, please sign up for the Codum platform. And I hope you all enjoy a wonderful time with your buddy. So thank you so much, Isabella. Thank you everyone so much for joining us.
No, thank you, Stephanie, and thanks everyone.